Let me ask you a question, but be 100% honest with yourself. How many times have you picked up your phone just to check the time, unlocked the screen, and opened a social network purely out of habit? You spent 2 minutes scrolling through your feed, closed the app, put your phone back in your pocket, and realized you still didn't know what time it was. We do this on autopilot over and over again throughout the day. It's become a nervous tick of our generation. Honestly, for real, our minds have been completely hacked by speed. If a video takes more than 5 seconds to get going or deliver a joke, we just swipe up. If a website or an app takes 3 seconds to load, we already close the tab, annoyed as if it were stealing our time. And these days, it's gotten even worse. Even with short videos on TikTok, Reels or YouTube Shorts, we already watch them holding our finger on the screen to play at double speed because the normal pace of people talking feels unbearably slow. We want to skip the introductions, we want to go straight to the end, which is the summary of the summary. But have you ever really stopped to think about the invisible price we're paying for not knowing how to wait anymore? The central problem isn't that our generation was born broken, lazy, or impatient because of some factory defect or DNA flaw. The big truth is that we were meticulously trained to be this way. Absolutely everything around us today was designed by Silicon Valley engineers to be instant, frictionless, and effortless. Want something to eat? You no longer need to plan, go to the market, chop the ingredients, and cook. A delivery app brings ready-made food to your door in minutes. Want entertainment? You don't have to wait for the day and time your favorite show airs on TV anymore. Streaming platforms put entire seasons there, without commercials, ready to be binged. Want social validation? You don't need to build a reputation in the real world over years and through character. You post a photo with the right filter and watch the likes and views go up in real time on the screen. The big danger in this is biological. Our brain runs on dopamine, which is basically the neurotransmitter that drives us toward the rewards. It was shaped thousands of years ago to give us pleasure when we managed to hunt an animal or find a fruit-bearing tree, things that required chronic effort. But the world has changed, and algorithms have learned to deliver that same dopamine in massive doses for free every 2 seconds with a swipe of the screen. The feed is endless, just like a slot machine at a casino. You pull down, waiting for the next visual stimulus. But there's a crucial detail that no one tells you when you buy a smartphone. Real life doesn't have software updates. Physical, biological, and social reality doesn't run at double speed. And it's exactly in this clash between the instant digital world and the real analog world that things get tough. This is where chronic impatience turns into clinical anxiety, barging right into our minds. Do you know why? Because the things that truly matter in life, the ones that define who you are, your success, and your happiness, necessarily depend on time. There are no shortcuts for them. Building an awesome, respected, and profitable professional career doesn't happen in 3 months through an online swipe-up course. It takes years of repetition, mistakes, frustrations, and boredom. Having a deep, genuine, and secure relationship with someone is incredibly hard work. It requires months and years of difficult conversations, living together, sacrifices, and maturity to align expectations. Going through a process of personal growth, changing your body's appearance, or healing a deep psychological wound cannot fit into the space of a story or a direct text message. Then when we step away from our phone screens and run into the natural slowness of these major life undertakings, we simply break down. We freak out. The worst part of this phenomenon is that our internal feeling isn't that the process is slow and we need to persist. Because we're addicted to the speed of social media, we start to think the problem is with us. We look at ourselves in the mirror and think we're failing, that everyone else is moving forward and only we are stuck, left behind. After all, you open your feed and see the algorithm showing young women in their 20s driving sports cars and living a perfect life. You mistake the filtered exception for the rule of reality. This invisible and overwhelming pressure keeps your mind always exiled in the future, trying to guess the next step, to anticipate the next achievement, and to speed up the next result. And your physical body pays the price for this racing mind with chronic insomnia, tightness in the chest, panic attacks, palpitations, and that perpetual, suffocating, ghostly feeling that you are hopelessly late, even without really knowing where you're running to. Look, I'm not going to come here and give you that cliched, utopian, and boring speech about throwing your phone in the trash, deleting your social media, and going to live in an isolated cabin. We live in 2026, the world is digital, technology is a work tool, and no one is going to isolate themselves from this society. But if you want to keep your sanity intact and really build something big, you urgently need to rehabilitate your patience muscle. You need to learn to tolerate frustration and boredom again. How do you do this in practice without being radical? By starting with small endurance tests in your daily life. The next time you're waiting for your coffee to be ready, standing in line at the bank, inside an elevator, or stuck in traffic, make a conscious effort. Resist the automatic temptation to pull your phone out of your pocket. At least 3 seconds of boredom. Put your hand away, let your mind wander, look into space, observe the people around you, let your brain breathe for 2 minutes without any artificial stimulus or blue light in your face. Boredom won't kill you. In fact, idleness is the only space where true creativity and deep thoughts can be born. Another powerful exercise: train your brain in slow mode. Choose at least 1 or 2 activities a week that are deliberately analog and impossible to speed up. Go read a physical book and force yourself to get past the first few pages without checking notifications. Go cook a meal from scratch, chopping the ingredients, waiting for the cooking time. Go take care of a plant or do a workout focused on the execution, not on the music in your headphones. Show your nervous system that you are still in control of your body's pace, and most importantly, learn to separate the process from the result. Stop living exclusively for the finish line, because when you get there, your mind's algorithm will create another finish line 10 times farther away. Learn to look back and celebrate the well-placed brick you laid today, the focus you maintained today, the consistency you maintained today, even when nobody was watching and even when it felt like nothing was changing. In the end, in this century, learning to wait and knowing how to slow down isn't a waste of time or a sign of weakness. It's the greatest strategy for power, focus, and high performance you can adopt. The only way to shield and protect your mind in a world that has unfortunately forgotten how to breathe.